Hey there, you guys, and welcome to Maverick Minded Realtors. I'm Jer'Leigh Thompson.
I'm Casey Smith.
And we are talking about all things real estate, hopefully to broaden your mind, expand your views, and really help you excel in this industry.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about things generally that not a lot of people talk about to help you stand out from the crowd. And today, one of those topics is what we wish we knew when we first got started. So what is the statistics? Something like most realtors don't make it in the first year or two.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around 80% of the people that come in do not last. And I mean, there is a high turnover in this industry.
And I would say, honestly, within the first year, I probably went through 4 brokerages. And I wish I had known certain things. So this episode, we're going to go over the top 3 things between Jer'Leigh and I that we wish we had known when we first got started. So number 1 for me was I got super flattered when brokerages were calling me the day I passed my exam.
Well, they already knew. They
right?
already knew
they
how
get
wonderful
the list,
you were going to be.
They know who passes, and you're probably getting recruited and bombarded by a lot of different people. So I wish that I knew that they all want me. Why? Because they make money off of me. And I wish that I had talked to more brokerages and interviewed them and knew what questions to ask when I first got started. So I think that would have probably helped me avoid a lot of turnover. I'm the type of person that doesn't take too long to make a change, so I was able to switch quickly. But it took me 4 brokerages before I landed with the best of Texel.
Thank you.
But one thing I would say on that note is some top questions if you are just getting started that you should ask your brokerage. For me, I wish I had asked more of them what their brokerage splits are so that I understood that not all brokerages have splits. There are now flat fee brokerages. There are some that offer you more resources for a higher % of your commission, which might be really great when you're first getting started.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that whenever I got started, I did interview a few, but mainly I was basing it on how much training did you offer, you know, because coming from a totally different industry, I was like, what? I don't feel comfortable in my own skin going out there and trying to say, hey, I'm a realtor, when I don't know what the heck I'm doing, because obviously the classes don't teach you anything, you know, other than how to pass that test.
And how to be ethical.
Yeah, and how to be ethical.
They teach you that.
In case you don't already know, people.
Well, hey, common sense isn't common.
But anyway, I just, like, that was my thing, is I wanted to have as much education as possible. So I went strictly by how many classes they held in a month.
Right.
And ended up with Keller Williams, which was great and groovy for a moment, but, you know, that was also a high percentage split. And then I got kind of analysis paralysis going on and didn't have, it was too big of an office and not enough guidance, you know, and didn't really get to, like, make that connection with anybody that could kind of guide me through those things.
Yeah, and I had the exact same experience with some of those big box brokerages. And something I also learned out of that gate was there is a difference between brokerages that offer you coaching and those that offer you mentorship. And I remember coaching was really big with my first brokerage, but you had to pay for it, and it was definitely, I wasn't quite ready for it yet. I needed to learn the basics first before I got into that whole how to find leads and do all that kind of stuff. I had to really understand my role and what I was doing. So I started exploring other brokerages and found some offer mentorship. There's a lot of different ones that do that.
But usually you're going to pay for that. I mean, if you're brand new, you don't know anything. I didn't do it, and I wish that's like one of my top ones. I wish I had done like a mentorship or coaching and just known that I was giving away half of my commission, because half of my commission would have been way more of the 0 commission that I was making doing it on my own and trying to do it on my own and flailing. So it just would have given me so much more practice and insight on what that job entails. And just like any industry, you got to pay for that education. And so while it may seem like a lot at the very beginning when you're talking about commissions and the splits, it's worth it, because if you do that in the beginning, it's going to help you so much in the long run.
I always advise people that come to me now, if you're really brand new, go ahead with those brokerages that offer the higher splits with the education, but make sure the resources that you're getting, it's not just giving you leads, it's actually teaching you. That's huge. As you grow and advance, you might look and outgrow your brokerages, and it's okay to move, and it's okay to find someone that maybe you need a little less hand-holding and you can keep a little bit more of your money because you've built a bigger business. So that was my number 1.
Yep. Which I completely concur with that.
All right, so what was the second one for you?
Second one for me was I probably would have started investing in real estate sooner because, again, I started learning about investing and educating myself and did the analysis paralysis all over again with that. There seems to be a trend here. It may just be me, but I do feel like that had I gotten with somebody that maybe had done it and it wasn't just courses, that I would have invested sooner. That doesn't go hand in hand with every realtor, although like in my brokerage and the brokerages that you've been a part of, we are very heavy on the investor realtor because I do feel like that's your future. That is what you can do to get for your retirement, because otherwise you're just chasing that next commission.
Yeah, and I think it also comes down to your credibility, because if you are going to present yourself as an expert in real estate and you don't own it, you've never bought or sold a house yourself, or you aren't helping a broader range of people that need help, because there are more than just your typical homeowners that need to buy and sell. There's investors that do volume, there's all sorts of stuff, and it's a really great entry for you to not gain the credibility, gain the experience, and then yes, it's to supplement your income. I personally, all of my commissions go into investing 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now it's like I joke all the time, or it seems to be a running joke at home. I don't make any money. I just keep putting it into other things. I'm like, we poke. But, you know, I do know in the long run, this is going to pay off big. You know, it just doesn't feel like it at times.
Yeah, so I think that kind of ties into the first one as well, is really figure out how you want to build your career, because that brokerage that you're interviewing and that you're settling with is going to play a part in that. I actually started, the first two brokerages I went with did not offer me that. It wasn't until I went with a brokerage that opened my eyes to the investment side that I found that that was my niche. And that kind of goes into the investing to like kind of what you wish you did sooner. It's find your niche. It could be investing, it could be working with investors, it could be working with first-time home owners, but then again, they only made up 20% of sales last year, and that's a very small niche. So you really got to look at what you find interest in and what you can relate to.
And what you can make money.
Make money on.
Make money on. Yeah, there's got to be enough on it. Yeah, you can make money at anything. You don't want to make it too small of a niche, is all we're saying.
Riches are in the niches, is that what they say?
Riches are in the niches.
Okay, number 3. Moving along. This one was yours. This was a big one for you.
Yeah, it was, just because, like, this is going to sound crazy, but I just this year did my CRM.
Just this year. Now, did you ever try to do it before? Or was this like trial and error, or is this brand new?
No, it was something that people kept saying, hey, have you put together your CRM? And then when I would hear that, all I would hear was data entry. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's all of my contacts, everything I've ever done, and then everybody that I know. And then I'd just get tired.
Okay, and so what do you do with the CRM that's so important for you?
So the CRM ends up being a huge marketing tool. So, you know, if I had done it in the beginning, then I would have started putting in all of my clients. I would be birthdays, when they bought their property, you know, as much information as I possibly can, so that I have relatable information that I can send them to be in front of them. So you're not doing one transaction and doing that one and done and you're on to the next person, which is kind of how I ran my business for a good portion of my career was, all right, done, I'll catch up with you later, and I'm off to the next one, you know, and rather than staying in touch. I mean, in social media, you kind of stay in touch. They can watch what I'm doing. I can like and comment on what they're doing if they're on there. But had I put together the CRM and been constantly in touch with them, I would probably have not lost out on many transactions.
That kind of goes back to the whole sphere of influence that you hear about, where everyone says, tap into your sphere of influence, and people think, I don't have that. Well, you start with your friends and family, maybe some people you used to work with, friends of friends, but as you grow, you can build that sphere of influence through your business, and that's what the CRM is going to do. Confession, I still don't have a realtor CRM, so I'm also learning. I know I should, but I also have a business model myself where I have, I only work with a few clients that do bigger volume, and that's how I started. But I'm starting to realize that I haven't maximized on that, and I probably could have doubled my business in the last year or two just by having the CRM. So I'll take some advice from this own podcast.
You're going to take your own advice?
But one thing I do often teach to realtors sometimes when I'm speaking at brokerages is part of that building that CRM kind of plays into the whole thing of treat it as a business.
Well, that's most
That's
definitely.
what it is.
It's treated as a, well, because so many people get into this industry and they are going, that's my job. Well, there's a difference between having a business and having a job. When you go to your job, somebody else is telling you what you have to do every day. You know, you've got your tasks you got to get done. These are the things, these are the markers. So you know you're getting your job done. Your boss is telling you whether you're, you know, did you fail at that? Did you pass at that? You know, what we need to do better. Whereas in this industry, once you get your license, you are your boss. And while that seems awesome,
It's very scary.
it's also a lot of freaking work. You know, it is
wear a lot
now
of hats.
you wear a ton of hats and you're constantly going, okay, what do I need to do today so that tomorrow I can make that list and make that, you know, and you're constantly trying to build on it, which means you're coming up with a marketing plan. You're coming up with, you know, what you need to do, just task oriented of, you know, with the transactions. What do I need to do for future transactions? You know, it's a constant and it's a business.
It is a business. So I would say that if you are just getting started out, obviously where you hang your license with absolutely matters because they're going to give you the tools, the resources, and the network to build the business you want. You didn't become a realtor and go into business for yourself to not design the work day that you want. And so having a CRM is going to be super key in at least building that sphere of influence and drawing on those people. And honestly, you can start anywhere. Start with your kids' sports events and put the names of the people you speak to in there and just reach out to them. Tell everyone what you do. Don't be shy about it. Wear a shirt that says I'm a realtor. Or
Yeah, I know. I
like-
thought that was goofy as hell. I really thought that
if
that was
people don't
dumb.
know-
But it's one of those things. If people don't know, then you are that secret agent, and that's not what you want to be because it. Like I've said a million times, it used to be, people used to tell me that as far as marketing goes, that you had to say it 7 times for somebody to remember exactly what you do. And now that we're bombarded with a ton of information all the time and social media, you know, we're being hammered with all different kinds of ideas and ads and marketing and blah, blah, blah. I bet it's 100 times more than that now.
Yeah.
That you have to put that in front of people for them to know. I've been doing this 20 years and I'm not quiet about it anymore. And I still have people go, are you still in that? You still doing real
doing that house
estate?
stuff?
You know?
Well, that kind of goes back to our number 2 also about the niching down and having your interests, because what I have found in a sea of, if you think it's an oversaturated market and you're trying to figure out how to stand out and how to survive here, people are going to come to you for specific things. I had somebody come to me recently. I had bought a house from somebody and they were like, you buy the houses that aren't great, right? Because a lot of normal buyers and sellers don't know what to do when it's not a traditional sale, right?
Not many people can see through the mess.
Right, and
They can't see through bad wallpaper.
Yeah, and so they think that a realtor is only going to help them in that scenario. And you have to be there to tell them if that's a road that you go down. I particularly work with investors, and that's how I got started. And I think that's why I was successful in the first few years was I let people know I can sell anything. It doesn't matter how clean it is, how great it is. If you don't want to do something, you do want to do something, I'm here to navigate you through that. And so make sure people know the possibilities and what your expertise is and how you can guide them. And that's why I think that all of these combined kind of summarize back to you in that when you get your license, you have to ask yourself a very key question, and that is, what do I really want to do? Do you want to help that first-time home buyer? Do you actually love seeing properties flipped into something beautiful again? Do you like renovating them? Do you enjoy helping sellers that don't have resources? Do you like the mortgage side and working with people, veterans who need to find a home? The possibilities are endless, and in an industry where it is sales and marketing, period. I don't care what people tell you, and you have to stand out. That's how you're going to do it. So those would be my top 3 for sure.
Absolutely. And back to that CRM of, you know, I've gone back just from doing the CRM this year. I've gone back just to see how many of the transactions that I did in my first few years, how many of those people have sold their home and moved on that I was not a part of that transaction.
You did that?
It was.
Did you cry?
I was not happy. It was upsetting. It was upsetting. I was like, the heck? I thought we were friends.
Oh, no. And you probably still are.
Yeah, they
didn't
just, they forget, or all of a sudden their cousin Jimmy just got his license or whatever, know. But it's things like that. That right there is part of the reason why you stay in touch. There was a podcast that we sent out to all of our agents that one of my agents sent to me, and I thought it was so helpful, is how a guy went to a small town, relocated, didn't know anybody there but his wife and his kids, got involved in his kids' lives and decided to make a career change and go into real estate and wanted to do referral only. He was with a team his first year, and then he did referral only the second year, and everybody, all his coaches said, no, you're not going to be able to do that. And he goes, I touch everybody within my sphere like 15 times a year. I drop something by their house, I give them a call, I do this, I do that. And he's built an entire business on his first clients of that first year.
That's impressive.
It's really impressive. I mean, it's diligent, but it started with that CRM. Like he was very diligent.
Yeah. Well, I think they always say that some of the veterans in real estate, they always kind of brag about how they don't buy leads or don't do marketing anymore because it is just that snowball of referrals. And so if you can do that in your first few years and build that habit, I mean, you're going to compound your experience and your business much faster in this world of technology and social connection. So that's some good advice for sure. Okay, get a CRM. Get a CRM.
I'm on it.
You're on it. Anyway, so those are the top 3. I mean, we've got a plethora more that we can add to that list, but those were the ones that we kind of niched down and decided that we wanted to share with you guys.
And if any of you have something additional, if you're more seasoned, drop it down below in the comments. We'd like to hear and maybe talk about it and kind of diversify on them, because there's a lot to building this business, and these are just some minor things to get you started. So we'll dig a little bit deeper in future episodes in regards to things that you can do.
Yeah, so tune in and join us for our next episode. Be sure to like and comment and follow and all that good stuff. We're going to try to put out as much information for you guys as possible. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.